How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Fabledom and welcome back to Nerdria. Things are going amazingly well at the moment. The food situation is so much better than it was at certain points through that last episode, and I was going to put a little bit more time between this episode and that last one just to let this area build up, which it's doing amazingly well at the moment. We have got space to bring more peasants into these farms. We have a fisherman's hut going up over here. We have a fisherman's hut going up down here. This newly developed space is amazing and I love it, and I'm so pleased with how it's all turning out. But I hit the big old red record button because we have a world event called Rescue Mission. We need to send help. We were spying on a nearby troll camp. Our brother told us that they have all kinds of riches, and by no fault of our own, we were captured. We are too pretty to die. Long story short, if I send some soldiers, if I send my army on a mission, I will rescue some important nobles, which I would assume means that, yes, I will be getting 2 nobles out of this. So obviously, we're sending the hero, currently level 7. That's fantastic. We are basically going to send a whole bunch of these guys. We'll send 5 of each, which is more than we need. It is a 4-star mission. No relationship effect, which is fine, but we do get 2 nobles out of it, which is very exciting when you keep in mind that we are very close to getting another noble down here. So pretty soon, we should be able to max out the Ministry of Culture, which will give us a plus 15 to the happiness across the board, which is currently down at 70. That's the lowest it's been in a very, very long time, possibly the lowest it's been ever. I don't remember where it starts when you first start Fabledom, but that's definitely the lowest that our happiness has been in a very long time. So it's going to be good to get that back up there. It's even dropped further now that winter's come through. And I'm noticing that part of that is probably because of the fact that we just don't have coal. So I'm kind of wondering if it would be an idea, maybe, to just set up a little bit of wood cutting up this way. We don't actually have that much wood either. The lumber across the board is way lower than honestly, than I've been paying attention to. So let's have a little bit of a look at resource production. We have a lumber camp right here. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to put a lumber camp right about here, and I'm going to put a lumber camp right about here. We'll do a couple of attachments on each of them and we'll build it. We'll do an attachment on you, and we will actually remove that just to make sure it's facing the right way, which is going to be there, and we'll build it. So that'll be a nice supply of lumber. We are going to be using that lumber to make coal, and this thing does have a bit of a debuff around it. So I almost wonder if it would be an idea to sort of put this thing, well, I can't put it there because we have that giant tree. I could put it here, which isn't necessarily the worst place for it. I could put it here as well, and that would give us some coal production right next to where we're getting a bunch of lumber. I don't necessarily mind that idea. So I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do some coal production right there. We'll go to essentials, or rather we'll go to resource production. We'll go to stockpile, and I'm going to do just a stretch of stockpile right back there. And we have a dragon that's entered the realm as well. Everything is going on all at once right now. I'm not too happy about it. We can attack it. We could give it 800 coin. We will just attack it. We have 726 prismatic fluid. And wow, that was so much quicker than the last time we did that. That's fantastic. Okay, that's absolutely perfect. So we'll get all this built. Hopefully it won't take too long to do. We don't really have any workers that are super close by, which is a bit of a concern. I don't necessarily know what I'm going to do about that. I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do about that. I could build some houses down here, although we do also have these homesteads over here. 4 of them are empty still. So yeah, we'll get some people moving into these guys. That's going to be relatively close to all of this, so that should be fine, which is great. So long story short, we will sort out the coal problem. We will sort out the wood problem. It's just going to take a couple of cycles of new fablings coming in here, and that'll be all right. We have soldiers in need. We will bring them in because we might as well. I'm also going to select everybody, and I am just going to put them up there. so that all of my soldiers are in the same little location right there. That's where they've always been. That's where they always will be. And that's totally fine. What are you complaining about? I think that's not enough coal, right? Yeah. We definitely need to figure out the coal situation. That's definitely going to be the top priority. I figured out food. I've got, 371 people here. We also only have, only 2 out of 5 want to stay. So this is, yeah. So the average happiness is going to determine how many of the visitors actually want to stay here. So this is going to be something. Let's get the coal maker up and going. Let's get the lumber camp. Ooh, maybe not the lumber camp up and going, actually. I'll tell you what I will do. Let me just set this thing so it is only going to be storing wood and coal so that it's, perfectly set up for what we've got going on here. And hopefully we can start to figure this out. This is something I've been doing the whole way through building Nerdria. I've been expanding and expanding and expanding. The last episode, we didn't have enough food. This episode, we don't have enough coal. Arguably, we don't have enough lumber, which is really surprising. I wasn't expecting that to come through, but we'll figure it out. It's not the end of the world. It's a little bit of a shortage, but it's definitely not the end of the world. I'm also realizing that this noble requesting labor down here in the bottom left, didn't we do a mission that gave us a bunch of armaments? And doesn't that therefore mean that the blacksmiths, they're not going to do anything because their limit is 125. Let me change your limit to 250 so that you go ahead and keep making armaments so we can get that extra noble. I also want to see how this 73 days remaining. Ugh. Wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that at all. What do you want me to do? You will give me a bunch of iron if I do this mission, and I'm kind of okay with that. I don't have any peasants. I have 2 commoners, so I can't actually do this for you right now, which is fair enough. We did have some other stuff going on. What have you got going for me? Wait, what is this? General grandmother. Did you know that Winifred's grandmother was a very oh, it needs my hero. Okay, well, my hero's busy, so I keep hitting the wrong button. So we're not going to be doing that. It doesn't look like anyone else wants me to do anything right now, so we'll not worry too much about it. Now, you know what I'm thinking while we wait? I'm thinking that we don't need these 3 fishermen's huts here. I do like them. I like having these guys, but I just don't think we necessarily need them. So we're going to bring all of these fablings back in. We're going to demolish you. They also don't have a little path down here, do they? We should probably give them one, because I think that'd be nice of me to do. Just give them a little path right down there so they can get out there a bit quicker. But I think that's the right call. I think just, not having too much going on there is the right choice. We'll get, still a decent number of boats out there. But that does free up some fablings. It gives me 5 that are now unemployed, and they should be relatively close to here. Apparently they're not. Okay, well, you know what? Given that we kind of just need people working out here, at least for the time being, I'm gonna just have these guys work in the lumber camp. They might be super far away. They might be people that live down here or over here. It's not the end of the world. We'll bring in another couple of visitors. They should go live over here, which should mean actually I can probably get rid of you and get someone much closer. And I can probably get rid of, well, no, doesn't really work like that. That's fine. We still have people working in this space. It's not going to be super efficient, but it's better than nothing. It's going to do until we get more people in here. We've also got refined juice that needs my attention. What does this do for me? So gather 90 grapes, produce 20 grape juice. I will get 5 nobility. I've got 30. I should be able to do that. We've been doing pretty well with the grapes lately. I mean, we have a decent amount of grape juice as well. A lot of it's going towards the feast, which is at 35%, but yeah, I'm fairly convinced we can do this. I'm also sort of wondering if I could bring taxes down a little bit to increase happiness. So if I bring this down to 6, I'm now -1. I don't want to do that. If I bring this down to 3, I'm now -7. I don't want to do that. That does take happiness up quite considerably, but I just don't think I don't think I can justify losing money right now. I really don't, so I'm not going to. We're going to wait until we have some more nobles. We'll just put them into the Ministry of Culture, and that's basically how we're going to crank happiness up to 100, or sorry, not 100, but 85 is what we're going to go for. 52 days until this mission is done. We've got 15 more armaments to make, and we'll get another noble. So at the very least, in the near future, we will have +5 to happiness, which should mean that every however many days, we will have 3 Fablings coming in. It'd be nice to have the full 5, but I'll take 3. We have a noble demanding arms. Essentially, if I spend 30 armaments, we will get another noble. I'm willing to do that. That is not a problem whatsoever. We have another 11 armaments to make, and we will get another noble. So we're going to immediately put you into the Ministry of Culture. That gives us that +5 to happiness, which is absolutely fantastic. That is what we are looking for, and should mean that in 7 days, we do get that +3 to the population. And then my hope is that I can put those people to work in the farms, and up in here, we do have a little bit of coal in storage. I don't necessarily think that the setup we have here is going to be enough to solve all of our coal problems going into winter, but I definitely think it's a start. I think realistically what we might need to do is get a few more logging camps just dotted around here. I mean, honestly, we could probably put one in here if I don't already have one somewhere. We have got a little forester or lumber camp down this way, but this little corner would be kind of perfect for one. The issue with that is finding space for the Fablings to live that would work here. So it might be better to build a little cluster of houses just up here and put some logging camps kind of around this area with some coal production as well. In fact, I might do that. That really might be the goal. Have these guys sort of built up there. We can take a little path sort of down this way over the river and up to here to connect it around. We can bring a path down here and across these rivers to connect it around. That really might be the play. I just kind of need to figure out how to get all of these paths to do what I want. So let's see if we can figure that out. It's going to go, so it can go up and down here, which is great. Obviously it's a little bit steep, but that's not really something I can do much about. So it's going to go there. And then somehow I am going to need a little bridge. I kind of want to use the wooden one though. I think the little wooden bridge kind of suits this, this space, and it kind of looks like there's only one way to put it. So we'll go for that. We are going to continue sort of coming down this coastline. Ooh, that's not, I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, it's not technically connected, and I don't know if I can connect it on this side. I absolutely can, which is actually great news. I can actually bring this straight down here, which is even better news. So that's a connection on that side, I guess. It's a bit messy looking, but I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. On this side, it's going to be presumably a similar story, although I wonder. I can do a little bridge right there. So just a little bridge like this, I think is going to be good. We can bring this path up to here. And I think maybe we just sort of go sort of down around this little forested area like that. And that'll be one set of connections. As for over here, I'm not 100% sure how to set this bit up. This might need to be a slightly longer bridge. Something kind of like that, I think, is what we're going to need to do. And then if we go and look at the path, I can bring it sort of down. So it needs to go there. So we'll bring this kind of around that way. And I guess we'll do the same over here. It can come down this way. I think there's a path right there it can connect to. That is not a path it can connect to, so never mind. I guess what we do is just bring it straight down through here, and it connects to this little bit of path right there. Okay, so that gives us a way for people to get the entire way around here. This little bridge is leaves a lot to be desired. I wonder if I could, can I put a small bridge in here? Is there any way to do it? I really don't think there is. What is this? Oh, we can throw a party. Absolutely. Absolutely, we'll throw a party. Yeah, I don't think there's any way I can get a little bridge down here, unfortunately. I don't, I mean, I can do there, I can do there, I can't do there. I think that's exactly where we had it before. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're kind of stuck with our options here. So what we had, which was this, is going to have to continue to exist, which is honestly okay. I guess that's fine. And I suppose this area down here, like I said, this is going to have to be just a bunch of little homesteads. I don't really want to go ahead and do a bunch of, I don't think townhouses up here would be appropriate, but I think what we could do is maybe, oh, what way do I want to do this? I think what I would like to do is, I don't want these to be huge. I don't think they should be huge. So I'm going to go here, 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 here. We're just going to go the entire way across, I think. Something like that should be pretty good. We can make this one a little bit larger, and that's all right. I'm going to do my usual mix of a tree at the front and then a bunch of just different decorations at the back. So we've got dog houses, we've got outhouses, we've got clotheslines, we've got all sorts of different stuff. I think for this one, just because we have this extra bit of space, we will use that extra bit of space and we'll do a little greenhouse out back just to be different. So that'll give us a bunch of houses, which is fantastic news. And my thinking for this is we bring a road over, and then if I wanted to, I could put more homesteads in here, and I kind of want to. I'm kind of thinking we go all out with this. We do a whole bunch of houses out here so that we can really go kind of nuts with our coal production, because it's always been a little bit it's never really been perfect, so it would be nice to do something about that. I think that's kind of the goal here. So we'll get this guy here. This one I don't know if I can do. Oh, I can do a full yard at the back. That's good. I might not want to do that though. I'm gonna need somewhere for a well. I haven't really thought about that yet. I guess we'll figure it out. They're gonna be complaining about not having any water for a little bit, but that's sort of par for the course. Anytime I mean, look, whether it's City Skylines or it's Fabledom, I almost always, well, it doesn't really matter in City Skylines too, the pipes underneath the road. But the point being, if it was City Skylines 1, me forgetting routinely to do the water pipes underneath the roads, it's not really surprising anybody. So we'll do this, and then I guess what we'll do is look at getting I'm kind of thinking a well right here is a decent shout, and then maybe one down at the end of the road as well. What is this? Clean the water? Sure. Unless I did something decorative down at the end of the road, which I could do. I'm actually kind of wondering, can I do a little bit of road here? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put a well in the middle of that, just because I can, just because it's going to look kind of cool. And then either side of that, I want to do just a little cypress tree. So here and here, again, just because I can. And that's just going to be a little cluster of houses. That's all that needs to be. It's really nothing fancy, nothing more complicated. I might do a little granary out here just because I can, but fundamentally the goal of this thing is for me to be able to go and say, I want a lumber camp right about here with a forester right next to it there, and then build it. And then the same story sort of down here. I want to get myself a little lumber camp. I'm thinking I'm going to put this one just on the water to be a bit different with it. So we'll go for this. And then we could probably get away with another lumber camp just up this way. And I'm not even all that interested in getting roads that connect to all these things. I think I need roads that connect to all these things. I don't necessarily need nor want them, but yeah, I think that's the plan. So that'll be all of our little lumber connections. This can, I suppose, cut over this way. And then for these guys down here, we're going to try our best to do something like that. That is getting rid of more trees than I would like, but you know, it's totally fine. We'll do something like that as well. And those connections, I mean, this one's technically kind of far away from everything, but it's not the end of the world. It should be all right. And that'll be a really, really great amount of lumber coming through here. We're also up to 83 happiness, so let's bring in a fourth peasant, which I'm very excited about. And then I'm wondering, since we have this little lumber camp out here, I could, by the looks of it, get myself a little... I could do some coal production out here. this won't really be impacting anybody, which I'm quite tempted to go for. I mean, this actually wouldn't be either. I mean, yes, it's gonna be, you know, a debuff for the backyards, but it's not the end of the world. Could go down here as well, do a little stockpile down that way. I think here, I think we do a little bit of coal production right there, a little bit of coal production right there, and I think we do a little stockpile just right next to it, say there, with some pallets going back like that. And that should be totally fine. I would be very, very surprised if that doesn't, you know, significantly improve the coal situation. And let's not forget, this is going to be way, way more Fabelings than I need right now. It's a lot. This is a lot of people that are going to be out here, but I'm hoping for the best. And by the looks of it, we actually have some really good distances to all of these workplaces. So this is kind of perfect. Some of them are a little bit further away. That's not necessarily ideal. You guys are actually way too far away, so I'm not going to do that. But this one, these guys are yellow. I'm kind of okay with that. I don't really mind it. I'm also thinking that, like I said, I was going to do, I think a little granary here might be a decent shout. I don't know. Provide storage for food, especially useful in winter when crops are sparse. I don't think a granary distributes food. I'm not actually 100% sure. I don't remember if that's what it does. I think the, so cafes, that's not really what we're looking for either. The mole, trinkets, food, manure, and more. Did we ever build this? I feel like we didn't. I genuinely don't remember if we ever built the mole. We also don't have the Ferris wheel because it requires a circus tent. Interesting. No, by the looks of it, we never built the mole. That's a bit of a shame. I might have to clear out some space for it, but that's something we can look into. Although I also just want to take a very quick look and see if I'm missing anything with regards to food production and distribution. You know what? I will absolutely give you a bunch of iron for a bunch of bread. That seems like a great deal. And I'll go back to doing what I was doing, which was looking at food production. So there are markets in here, just for the life of me. There's what I'm looking for. Storage space carries a lot more than other workers. Okay. I think I'm overthinking the distribution thing. Let's just get ourselves this other noble down here, and let's put this noble immediately into the Ministry of Culture so that we're up to +10 on happiness. We've also completed the rescue mission, which I think we've managed to do. Fergus is fine, which is great. My sword fighters, we lost 2 of them, which is unfortunate. My archers, we lost none of them, which is totally fine. We get 2 more nobles. So now we can max out the Ministry of Culture, which is going to be a +15 to happiness across the board. And I suppose we can look elsewhere. So this is paying less family aid. I'm actually okay with doing that, because if I do that, so pay 20 less per noble assigned, currently paying 0 less. Also bring these guys in. So we're now +297. If I now go into my finances and bring these taxes down, we're +31. My happiness is 94. So getting new Fablings is going to be much easier. We should be able to get 5 at a time now. We're not making as much money, but we do have 14,000 coins, so I think we'll be all right. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if we're not quite making as much money. Now, let me just gut this place and see. We've got a bunch of people close by, which is great. We've got you guys who are not quite as close, but that's honestly all right. That'll be a bunch more coal, which is what we're looking for. We have this granary, but there's no one unemployed. And, you know, I like this little area. I like all the little trees and houses and stuff like that. It's a very, ooh, I did not know I could zoom in that way. I did not know I could zoom in that far. I think it's because it's a hill. It looks really cool though. Little weird here and there, but I like it. I love this game. I feel like I say that every episode, but I really do. It's just really pleasant. Now, in other news, something that I've just thought about is the idea of getting more grape farms. Now, these employ peasants. They can employ up to 4 of them. And I'm kind of looking at this space down here and thinking it's kind of the perfect area for it. It's a little bit out of the way, but I kind of like that about it. I think it's kind of a cool, interesting space. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to max this thing out the way I'd like to, but I'm not really too worried about that. I think this right here, I mean, it is maxed out now. Honestly, yeah, I think we're going to build that. That'll get us some more grapes. We could get a juicery, which hires, now that employs commoners. That's kind of a problem. With that said, though, we're a little bit low on grapes, so a grape farm here is probably not the worst idea. And given we'll have so many peasants up this way, I might just do another one. I think a little grape farm here with a whole bunch of grapes sort of going back this way could be kind of a neat idea. So something like this, and then maybe a little something like this. Maybe we do a couple of grape farms out here. So we'll do this one, and then we'll just do another one. I kind of like that idea. Like, it's just 35 right there. That's honestly fine. We'll go ahead and build it. We'll bring ourselves a little gravel road over to the front of it. And I think that's good. That seems like a decent enough use of the space. This lumber camp admittedly has lost some trees, but I mean, it's more food, and that's what we're looking for. Up to 88 days of food remaining. We have more vegetables than I think we've almost ever had, so no complaints from me. Let's keep the population growing. Let's get people to work. Let's start getting some more grapes, and we can just fill in all of this space as we go. There we go. 5 new peasants is fantastic news. We can immediately get people into that granary. We can get some people into the coal makers here as well. I believe we've gone through all the ones that are close by, so that's totally fine. Not the end of the world. Although we do have one unemployed fabling somewhere. If I was to put you in there, you are super far away from that, but you know what? Just because you're unemployed, we'll put you in there, even if it's a bit of a commute over to the workplace. And that does bring us up to 400 on the population. Higher than it's ever been. We're doing good. We also have a noble that, ooh. I don't like that. Increase family aid from 380 to 400. If I do that, I'm obviously just done it, but that's a bit rough. Although in saying that, I could just put, wait, would it defeat the purpose to put the noble in here? Would that feels like it's defeating the purpose of getting that, you know what? No, we're not going to put you in there. I want to have a look at what my other choices are. So the Ministry of Philanthropy is nobility. I don't care about that. Nourishment is reducing hunger. Diplomacy, 30% shorter duration per noble for missions actually sounds like a great idea. So that I'm going to go for. I like the, although no, you know what? Hold on. Let me put you in here. We're going to stack this. We're going to do aristocracy first. We're going to stack the aristocracy buff. And then once this is up and running, it's 40 coin in upkeep. So I need to keep that in mind for these buildings. They're all 40 coin in terms of upkeep. So having some significant reductions is going to be very, very good for me. Now, in terms of missions, you have quite a few for me. The rewards, I mean, this one, 100% chance, 80 days, sure. This one wants some I don't have peasants. I'm also losing my voice, which is kind of becoming a problem. Yeah, I don't think we want to do either of those right now. I think we maybe just wait for the feast. We're 80% of the way there, so I feel like we might as well throw the feast as soon as we can and then see what it takes to marry Farah. You know, it's just hit me that building these new grape farms is great and all, but they're still about as far away from the palace as they could possibly be. If anything, they're even less efficient because the only juicery is all the way over there and the palace is still all the way down here. It's not moved. But that's kind of okay because at this point we are able to throw a feast. And I'm absolutely here for that. Although having just got 5 new fablings, I'd kind of like to deal with them first, even if it's not really a priority, because I want to get a couple more people into these grape farms up here, and I'd like to swap you guys out for people that are, well, at least one person that's a little bit closer. You can be swapped out. I think, well, apparently not. The long and short, at least, is that we have 2 people in a majority, in fact, all of these grape farms now. So that's going to be a good thing for us. Military rankings, we're still number 2, which is a bit of a worry, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and throw a feast with Farah. Production buildings produce resources 100% faster, and Fablings carry 50% more. That remains for 50 days. Let's do it. Which is, I mean, is that it? Is that all we had to do? Farah's challenge. Oh no. Thank you for hosting this feast. As you know, I enjoy a good challenge, but since it's festive times, I'd never challenge you without a little extra reward. I'll understand if you just want to relax and have fun instead. I have a gift for that too. Okay, so we'll receive 500 coin. We have 90 days. We get 10 nobility. We need to build 30 structures. Ooh. I don't want to do that. Thank you, Farah. That's very kind. I'll take the money and the resources and not do the thing you want me to do, dear. Yeah. That's what we'll do. It's, that's the idea right there. How do we marry somebody? Not enough resources. If you have less than 50 stored of a resource, all the production buildings produce it 20% faster. Okay. We have the coin. We don't have the juice though. We don't have the bread either. Man, getting those is going to be tough. So we need more bread. We have a lot of grain. Maybe we just don't do feasts anymore. That might be kind of where we're at. Although this thing has a decent amount of this in storage, so maybe we just kind of need to wait. So getting the grape juice once we get the feast hall fully stocked should be easy enough. It's just a matter of time. Getting the bread is going to be slightly trickier because bread, I mean, it's really something. That's, oh man, I hadn't thought about that. Okay. Let me have a look at the bakery. We're limited to 150. I am going to say we're limited to 750 on the bread front. It's going to take a lot of grain. It takes 13 seconds each. No, it takes 28 seconds each. Ugh. Okay. I don't necessarily know about that. Flour should be easy enough. We have a limit on flour. I want to increase that to like 500 as well, so that we just kind of go nuts on flour production. We have a lot of grain sitting around. It would be nice to maybe just use it. It'd be nice if we could somehow get a whole bunch of bread. I have my doubts. I do have my doubts, but I guess we kind of just need to wait and see what happens here with everything. I'm also noticing it is winter. We are still very low on coal, which is not great, but is what it is, I suppose. I guess we're not going to worry too much about that. Maybe it would be an idea, because a bakery can employ a peasant, and this thing is something that people like to be next to. So maybe we build ourselves a bakery out here, and we use this as a means to try and get ourselves a whole bunch of resources. So I'm kind of thinking here, and then I'm kind of thinking we do a little path in here. And I think that's going to be a good place for a bakery. It is admittedly very far away from everything, and a windmill next to it might not be a terrible idea. In fact, a windmill in here, I mean, it sort of flies in the face of this area being a pleasant little neighborhood for people to live in, but we are going to have a bunch of workers up here who are going to have nothing else to do, so I'm absolutely fine with building both of those, and then saying that this thing is going to store no vegetables, it'll store bread, no eggs, it can store grapes, no fish. It doesn't need to store that. It does need to store flour, and yeah, that's going to be our setup right there. I don't know if this is the way to go. I really don't, but we'll figure it out. We also have a traveling merchant that wants to give me a bunch of fish. You know what? We have that much stone that I'm honestly okay with this. We will take all of that fish. We're now up to 91 days of food remaining with a population of 421. That's pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. We're also seeing the flour production go up a little bit. Hopefully the bread production will follow. We're way low on grain now, which I guess that's to be expected. This thing's also managed to just completely gut the trees nearby. There's like none left. That's a little sad, honestly, but you know, I'm sure it'll be fine. If anything, I might get a couple of farms down here, a couple of wheat farms, so that we can really feed into this little bakery setup here. I really don't know how I'm going to manage to have, it's a lot. I don't know how I'm going to manage to get 500 bread. That's a hell of a challenge. That really, really is a hell of a challenge. Figuring that one out is going to be tough. I do think it would be an idea to try and max out these grape farms at least, so that we can hopefully get as many of those as possible. We probably want to get another juicery at some point because I think we need that too, but I don't know. We did do this mission, which is fine. Get 800 grapes. Well, suddenly that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'll take it. Oh, now this is interesting. We only have room for 3 more peasants because all of these houses are now full. So we can get 1 person to the windmill. We can get 1 person to the bakery, which is going to make all of these people that little bit happier. And now I guess we just hope that that's enough to start cranking up the bread production. At the very least, we're seeing flour production go up really nicely. So I would imagine bread might go sort of the same way. I do think it might be an idea though to, oh, there's our problem. There's the problem. I still have farms down here that have no one working on them. I didn't realize I had farms down here that had no one working on them. That's actually kind of a bit of a surprise to me. I really thought I'd got all of these. These are probably wheat farms as well, which would kind of explain a lot. Okay, I'll tell you what. We need some more homesteads. We need one here, and I need one here. We're going to do a couple of small little homesteads because we really don't need anything too huge. And these are probably a little bit far away from where I'd want them to be anyway, but that's about as good as it's going to be. So right there, we'll get 2 homesteads. Those people can go work on these farms down here. And then hopefully, like I said, very big hopefully, but hopefully that'll be enough to push this bread production way, way up. All right, so just before we wrap things up for today, I've just realized that actually I don't need the feast hall to do anything right now. So I'm kind of just wasting grape juice by turning it into feast supplies. What I could do is put 2 of those nobles into the Ministry of Aristocracy, meaning that we're now paying 80 coin less on the family aid, which I'm kind of okay with. The wedding hall is whatever. The Ministry of Philanthropy is whatever. We'll bring these guys in as well. The Ministry of Nourishment, that might be the way to go. Because if we have people that are less hungry, then my thinking on that is that we will have more bread as a result. They're eating less. So that's going to be the new thing that I want to stack here and turn into, well, a whole thing. That's the plan anyway. But for now, let's just get some people working down on these farms. I'm also missing a little bit of road in there apparently, which I'm surprised by, but we'll do this. We'll get a couple of you working in there. We've at least got, you know what, take you out of there. In fact, you know what? Yeah, we'll keep you down there. We'll put 2 on this one because they're a little bit closer. And I'm pretty confident that these are probably grain farms, probably wheat farms, which, I mean, it'll be good to get these up and going. We are very, very low on grain right now, so hopefully we can figure that out. But I think for now, at least for today, that is going to do us. We've made some pretty solid progress here. What is this? We have witches. What exactly is going on with the witches? I don't really want to... Do I have to give them? What if I can't give them either of these? What if I didn't have the coin for this? Also, why are we at minus 49 right here? Where did that come from? That's... Oh no, we're plus 97 now. Okay, whatever. We're doing fine. in terms of money. It's fluctuating a little bit, but it's doing totally fine. Anyway, that is going to do us for today. I think we've made some pretty solid progress, like I said. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.